Hey guys, how are you all doing? I just figured I would take you on this little journey of how I am doing this rod marbling on this particular rod. This is a teal color series rod. It's a CRB rod that I got from Mudhole. The blank, I mean. But anyway, I'm going to do this in a couple of sections. But first, I went ahead and I taped out. Well, let me see. I say first. First thing I did was I laid this out on a index card. And you can see I wrote down the color of thread I was wanting to use, the color of marbling I was wanting to use, and just some other little information that I was going to do for this rod. So anyway, I taped off the areas that I was wanting to marble. So this right here, this section right here, is going to be just straight blue lightning blue. Same as right here. Okay, and this whole section right here is going to be all three colors of the marbling. And this, where the tape is where I'm going to trim it out with black thread. Then I moved on up this way, and this section right here is going to be just all three colors of the marbling, and then thread. This is where the hook keeps going to go, so I marked it off with tape, or blocked it off with tape, so I wouldn't put any epoxy there. And then this right here, I figured since I got the epoxy mixed up, I'll go ahead and lay out where I'm going to put my decals. So this is actually going to be nothing but my decals, and I like to have a base of epoxy to help the decals stick. And this section right here, I don't know if I said it, I may have, I might be repeating myself. Y'all know I'm good at that. That's where the hook keeps going to go. So let me get my epoxy mixed up, and I'll come back when I get my marbling all set up, and I'll let y'all watch me put the marbling on it. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. I've laid out just the littlest bit of epoxy on the rod where I'm going to be marbling, so it'll give a chance for the epoxy and the marbling to flow. Did the same up there. But I wanted to, y'all remember back in some of my other videos, one of my other videos, I showed y'all I make a palette, and when I do, I take what's left on the paper plate is actually what I put these on, and I let it dry, and I cut it out, and I keep them in a jar, and I label the back of each one of them, so that way when I'm trying to come up with a color scheme, all I got to do is pull these little, I guess you could call them swatches, out, put them together to see if I like it. So we are using Fiery Fusion, and of course these are all pigments by Nuno. Blue Lightning, and Clementine Pop. I'll show you these, and I'm gonna get them out of the way, and we are gonna get started on this marbling. Fiery Fusion, Blue Lightning, Clementine Pop. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, kind of probably want to put this out of my way a little bit too, so that way I won't take a chance of making a mess. So I'm just going to do this section right here. And you see it's going to be just the littlest bit different. And I'm not going to do anything special because all I really want on this is just some swirls and some color. And one of the things I do too is when I'm putting, like, especially if I'm trying to work around tape, when I'm putting the epoxy on, I'm gonna try not to go too close to it because I really don't want the epoxy on the tape. And then when it starts getting tacky, maybe about an hour or so into, maybe 2 hours into it curing, I'll go ahead and pull the tape off so it won't like stick. Because I don't want to have to be scraping tape off in my area that I just worked so hard to make pretty. Okay. Now it's just going to move around, do its thing. You know how marbling does. It does its own little thing. You never know how it's going to end up looking, and it's always a surprise. And I'm not going to do anything like super special in the middle, which all the time, every time I've ever used marbling, it always comes out super special anyway, because it's so unique. And I kind of try to put it on in a certain way to move it around to kind of get sort of the effect that I have in my head, but I always know that it's never going to be the way I've got it pictured in my head. But what's really going to make this blue pop and look so sharp is when I put that black thread on either side of it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay down some spots through here. And mainly all I'm gonna really do, I'm just gonna drag this into each other. Because I've come up with some pretty cool looking stuff in the past just by doing this simple thing. Just taking it and dragging it. Y'all already know the favorite thing I like using is toothpicks. Okay. Now let's move to the clementine pop. This is a bigger thing, but I had to mix up a lot of epoxy to, you know, spread out in different cups, so I had to use a bigger cup. And of course you can just come back if you don't have a certain color or enough of a certain color, come back and add some more. But notice I'm not putting any more color there or there, just right here in the center. That's good enough for that. Let's go to the Fiery Fusion. Kind of just gonna go in between where I haven't hit anything, any color. Okay. I know it's not in the frame, but up here past the wheel seat, I'm doing that small little section. Then I'm going to come back and start moving some of that around. Let me run over here and get another toothpick. Okay, my mixing toothpick. Now, I might turn around and move this around just a little bit because this won't be going in the center. I want to kind of keep it close to that tape. I'm just wanting swirls right here. And I've got my little paper towel here because I'm all the time wiping off this toothpick, because sometimes I want the colors to mix and sometimes I don't. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this through. Just going to let it go on around, and I'm going to drag it through each other. And I don't want to go too fast with it. Just kind of let the rod turn like it's turning now. I don't want to use the foot pedal and make it too fast. Because I want the colors to stay the color that they are. Which you're going to get some mixed colors in here anyway between the three. And I may go back and add some more. You know, once I'm sitting here watching it. And I'll just go back the other direction. and just drag it into each other. And what I'll do, I'll come back after this sets up and I put the black trim bands around, well, the black thread that I'm using to trim it out with, just so y'all can see how much it's just gonna make all this right here just pop. The real seat on here is black. The guides are gonna be black. So that's kind of the idea I was going with this. Whole rod build. And after I finish this little section, I will let y'all go until I come back and show y'all what it looks like after I put some black thread on either side of all this pretty stuff. Because the way it looks right now, it's so not gonna look like that when I come back. Because it's gonna be have moved and done its thing, and those colors look pretty darn sharp together, don't y'all think? Alrighty. Y'all stay tuned. I'll be back for another section. Okay, so this is one coat only over the marbling that I just done, where I was like using marbling as part of the trim bands, and also the black thread where I told y'all I was going to put it. It turned out pretty good. Still a little bumpy in spots because I got to go back and smooth out the rough areas, but I've done this before on some other rods. I kind of like the effect that I end up with. Let's get up here and look at like right past the hook, right past the roll seat. So that's what I did up on this section of the rod. But I hope this gave you guys some ideas. I appreciate you following me along on this video. But that's going to be it for this one. You guys take care. Tight lines. God bless. And I'll see you on the next one. Oh, and y'all don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us out. Y'all take care. Bye.